I think Mr. Ducey's done a fine job managing the staff. I think he built on the work that Dean Martin brought to the office in stabilizing the staff, and I think that was an important part of what has helped our state do better during this recession in terms of just managing the investment portfolio. Dean Martin, who was the immediate prior treasurer, I think is known for first having rung the alarm bell most loudly, be accused of being Chicken Little, and the then Governor Janet Napolitano said he was a Chicken Little. He was claiming the sky was falling, and in fact it was falling, and he was properly pointing that out. That was also true for me in the city of Tempe. That's how Dean and I really got to know one another better. He's endorsed me as a result of sort of our work together. In terms of what I think Mr. Ducey's been able to do is continue to maintain that staff stability in the office, and even during a recessionary period, guide the state's investments to assure the most important, in my view, element, and that is protect principal. The state's investments really are probably most analogous in a human context of a senior citizen, somebody for whom the principal protection is most important. And that's in fact the state protocols and statutory obligation is safety first. The second item that one looks at is liquidity, so that the state can pay its bills as they come due. So investments have to be spread and properly put together for that purpose. In terms of what I would do differently, I would push harder on the legislative body to provide the funding we need for improved technology. I think all three main elements of the state's technology portfolio, from the Department of Education to the Treasurer's Office to the General Accounting System, are long overdue for investment, and that would help us streamline how the Treasurer's Office in particular works, and probably I would try to achieve what I did for the city of Tempe, and through hiring freezes, work to readjust the Treasurer's Office focus so we could reduce staffing and improve performance without anybody losing a job, ultimately through retirements and other attrition. I would also act as a louder chief financial advocate for the state. I think the state of Arizona is in particularly bad shape. We have $9 billion in debt that has been incurred since March of 2008, and as a result of that, if the economy does not recover, as some people predict, more significantly, and if we even have a small hiccup, the state has no place to go to cover its obligations. We've already borrowed. We can't resell the Capitol buildings having done that. Contrast to what I did in the city of Tempe, and I think I put it in my answers to you, during the first 4 years, during the good years, we actually doubled the city's reserves so that we had the resources during the beginning of the recession and for 4 years thereafter to retain our services, maintain our assets, and that's what the state's failed to do. The sweeping of funds from the highway user revenue funds to all sorts of other locations that were used to try to balance the state's budget has denied the opportunity for much of the state to maintain the assets that we've all paid for. Our roadways and highways are just one example of spalling asphalt around the state where maintenance has been cut because we didn't have the immediate cash flow, and we'll spend more money repairing those assets than we would have spent had we maintained them right along and had we planned for bad times right along. So I think I would merely use the microphone of the Treasurer's Office to advocate more forcefully with the legislature and the co-equal executive branch to do better budgeting processes, to enhance reserves sooner than later, and to improve tax transparency.